Traders, how you doing? Tom Willard here. How you doing? I hope you had a great week trading. It's Friday after the close. Figured I'd do this early since I was scanning anyways. Got some ideas here, and also want to follow up on some of these ideas I've been sharing the last few weeks. I know a lot of you guys have been following along and trading, so congratulations for these guys that are doing well with these ideas. First one we've been talking about here is Chesapeake. Mentioned it back here right on this day, or prior to this day, this gap up. It put in this move up here. Tweeted about selling into this topping tail here, this profits right around $16 a share. It also coincided with this topping tail here, and that was my reasoning behind it. Turned out to be a hell of a great decision. Okay, trail stopped the rest of it out here on the swing trade, and then of course day traded it as I talked about in the other videos, and you can go look at those videos if you haven't yet to see how to day trade this thing. Now going into the next week. Okay, because really the past is great for learning, but it's all about making money. It's about what's going to happen, right? So what we've got here now is what I call an expanding range, a tornadic formation where you got a new high, recent high followed by a new low. Okay, and so what this does oftentimes is people put their stops in at the pivot points and they get taken out. Now, what I like about this, remember originally what I liked about it was on the weekly when I first mentioned it, it was back here. Okay, and I was like, look at how extended it was from the moving average, dead cat bounce. Well, it happened. Okay, now it wasn't pretty. It didn't go to 17 or 17, 18, which is ultimately what I wanted to see. Okay, but it did what it did, and it gave me profit potential. On both the swing side and the day trading side. Okay, now going into next week. Okay, the weekly chart, like I said last week, in the last week's video, it was already extended up. It's used a lot of its fuel, but now it's pulled back and it's drained out some stops with the pivot takeout. And it's been tight 3 days. I like it. I like it. It's a good reward to risk scenario. If this bad boy can get up over 1470, 1460, 1470 in here, you can put your stop in around 1420. Okay. Just go back to the daily chart, 1470 to 1420. You're risking 50 cents, and you're looking to make, you make it a move back up to 16. So you're looking at about a buck, probably about $1.30, $1.40. So you're almost at 3-to-1 reward to risk ratio. If I do this right, 50, yeah, probably about $1.30 on your profit side to $1.45. Okay, and of course your stop is around 40 to 50 cents. Now you can keep it real tight. You can put it under 1440 if you want. If you want to use the low here, this low here is 1429. You'll see down here. So you can keep it a little bit tighter, and you'll have your 3-to-1. Okay, but of course you want to look at the energy stocks, make sure that they're strong, the market's not collapsing. But a nice tight hold here after taking out this pivot. I like it a lot. Okay, so that's my game plan with Chesapeake. I'm flat right now. I have no shares, but that's what I'm going to be looking for next week. Skyworks. Chickens came home to roost today. Really, really nice sets of trades. Now, I talked about this again. You go back to the other videos for the last few weeks. Stupid extended on the weekly. Big bars indicating to me there's some downside potential. It provided it, okay. Swung it, okay. Closed out my swing position. I didn't have much left. Closed it out today. I actually set my limit order in. Walked away, went to the gym, and then came back and was filled. So we had a really nice move down here. And also day traded this one today. Fantastic day trade, okay? It came down showing relative weakness of the market. Remember I talked about that? Go to my relative strength video. If you haven't seen it yet, let's look at the NASDAQ. QQQ, okay? Look at about 1030, 1045 on the QQQ. What the market, the Qs were gapped up and strong near the highs. Skyworks opened down and just got collapsed. I thought, man, I'm going to short that. I know it had gone a long way, but I was shorting this, okay, targeting 93, okay? Able to get here right around $94 a share with about a 25-cent stop. Ran to 93, set my order in to get out at 93, left, came back and was filled. Obviously, it went almost another dollar past that, but that's fine. My target was there. It hit. Really nice trade. Okay, so day traded this one well today. It did bounce back up. I think this thing, if you're still swing short on this thing, like I suggested, you're looking good. Your target is going to be around anywhere from 88 to 90. Okay, again, I liquidated my short position. However, because I looked at this 93 area as support area and it's showing some support, but if you're still in this thing, I think it's got more downside. I will not. Like I said, I'm flat on this thing now, but I'm looking to initiate another position if it sits here a little longer. But remember, the longer it sits here, the more the moving average catches up to it, the less extended it is, the less chance of it coming down. And it's actually showing a hell of a lot of strength. Okay, if it can hold up in this area. But I think if you're still short in this thing, I still think it can easily come down to this 90 area. But again, I'm flat right now, looking for another opportunity. Okay. Other idea I gave you from last week was CENX. This one we talked about. Again, go back to the video if you haven't seen it yet, about it getting up over 14 right here, the high of this candle here, over 14. Okay. And it never did that this week. It never did it. Okay, and then ultimately, preferably would be over 1470, but it never did it. But now what it did do is it broke down underneath the low and underneath the base. Now remember, the weekly chart, stupid extended to the downside, dead cat bounce, I think in effect, okay, or could be in effect, all right? And it came down and it broke down and a bottoming tail down on volume. I like this. Now again, a topping tail today, so that's not great, okay, but it did explode up here and then just kind of dribbled lower all day. I think this thing's a top idea for a long side next week. The problem is the 60. There's all sorts of garbage and traffic in the way. Ideally, you maybe get a gap up to $14 a share. It's $1, okay, from here, so it's quite a bit away. And then you can kind of get some slingshot action. It may just open flat and you can get the run, because oftentimes when these things are extended down, these resistance areas here, they're not as strong as they typically would be because of the exhaustion here. Okay. Now again, it doesn't look exhausted on a daily. It looks like it's setting up, but again, the weekly chart you can see is pretty far down here, and that's what I'm looking to be able to play or use as the catalyst for this thing to at least bounce some. Again, looking for not a move back up to this area, but about a 50% retracement, 30 to 50%, 16, 17, $18 a share. So with those types of targets in mind, make sure your stop's worth it. If it's not, don't take it. And like I said, from a swing perspective, there's really no entry here yet. So I talked about last week, it never got above the area. Your ideal situation is where you can get up over 1470. And of course, we'll watch as this plays out over the next week. I'll continue to comment on this in future videos. Okay. Now, last but not least, the idea for next week. Let's take a look. Look at this keg. Okay, it's a cheap stock. All right, let's look at the weekly chart first. You'll see this thing came down and it kind of hung out here for the last year and a half, 2 years, in the 8, 9, 10 area, and then it completely fell apart here toward the end of 2014. Now it's come down. It set in a bottom here near 1, came up on volume explosion, higher low, volume pop here toward this pivot high. I like what I'm seeing here. You've got basically a little bit of a flag or a base after this pop up on volume. The volume has dropped off. You got basically it's a cup and handle. It looks hot. Long side swing over 225, 229, or 240 to be on the safe side. Okay, 240 is your high. That's your break point, and then your stop is going to be below the lows here. So say $2 a share, $1.99. You want to keep it real tight, 206. Okay, so there's your setup. Beautiful swing idea. Volume did pick up today. It looked like, let's see, yeah, it came down and tested this 210 area and it bounced again. Volume picked up. I think this has got nice upside potential. Watch it, okay? I think the earliest to get in is over the 225 mark. You can wait till 240. It's up to you. Keep your stop tight under $2 a share, 210, 209, 206 actually. I think this 206 is this tail right here, 207, but penny or two underneath that. And from a target perspective, same type of concept. You've got a big base move here, basically from 6 to 1, $5 move. So 250 off the 1 gives you 1, 2, 3.5, $3.5 to $4 a share. That's what you're shooting for. So say it moves, say $3.5. By the time you get in, it's $1. If you can keep your stop to about 30 cents, then it's 3 to 1. If you get 4, then you can get 4 to 1. Okay, and typically I shoot for around 3 to 1, higher odds trades and setups. This looks like a pretty good setup here on the daily chart. I may go for a little less on my target to take a chance at shooting at this, taking a shot at this pattern. Okay, but I like the volume action. I like the action here in the weekly. I think this is a good idea to watch, and I will be watching it for a swing long opportunity. Day trading wise, it's too nickel and dime. It's a dimer. It doesn't move much, so I wouldn't waste my time with day trading it. Although it has shown, it could move 30 cents here. You knock out 10,000 shares, and that's not a bad little income. And it's shown, it's able to move 30, 40, 50 cents on a day if it gets an right catalyst. If it gaps up to 250, I could see it putting in a move to 3 in one day. Okay, so may day trade it. I doubt it though. Highly doubt it. Probably won't give an opportunity. Okay? All right, guys. Hope you found this video useful. Have a great weekend. Hope your trading week went well. And we'll line them up and knock them down again next week.